Hoeveel kere gewoonlik gebruik hulle die?
Gewoonlik wekeliks en dan Dar es Salaam so 2-3 keer 'n jaar. En ja, die internasionale treine soms elke week. Victoria Falls en Kaapstad en Durban. Ja.
Usually you worship weekly. If it's to Dar es Salaam 2 to 3 times a year, and internationals to Victoria Falls elke week sê.
Ja.
Weekly.
Okay. And I take it that your clientele would be mainly tourists who wants to enjoy the old steam engines.
Ek sal het ek verstaan meneer, of ek sal het vat dat die gewone die kliënte wat die toere sal vat, die toeriste wat sal die treine wil ry, is gewoonlik die ou stoomlokomotiewe. Is dit korrek?
Ja, gewoonlik vroeër jare het hulle die stoomlokomotiewe gebruik vir sulke toere, maar hulle gaan nie meer sulke ver distansies nie.
Prior, Your Worship, or earlier of the period, they used to use Your Worship, but now they don't go to that far distance, or no longer go to that so far distance.
Okay.
Kahle ke ukuhamba kwethu ke ngaleso sitimela ke samalahle. Sihamba ke njalo ke ngeviki sokuthi salapha ke go Victoria Falls. Mhlambe bana partner futhi ke kuyahanjwa kanti futhi sensakhulu ke ilake ngele esikhulile befuna phela ukuzwa ubumnandi ukuhamba ngesitimela ke samalahle.
And prior to your employment with Rovers Rail, where were you?
Voor jy by Rovers Rail gewerk het, waar was jy? Waar het jy gewerk?
1982 begin in Bloemfontein as ketelmaker.
In 1982, I started working in Bloemfontein as a boiler maker.
En go 1982 baqala sabaza phe Bloemfontein njenge boiler maker.
Was this in the steam locomotives also?
That's correct.
That's correct, Your Worship, my lord.
Kakhulukazi futhi ke nisonzazo ke izitimela lezi ke zamalahle.
So combined, your experience working with these trains would be around 43 years old.
Yes.
Altesaam werking kennis van die treine is 48 jaar.
Nee,
Kennis van dit. 43, is it correct?
Ja.
That's correct.
Kunjalo futhi ke mangibala ke nje siphelweni sami ngisebenza kanje ngetimela ke ezamalahle iminyaka mhlawumbe la ku 14 make ku 43.
Actually, it would be around 44 this year.
Die jaar sal 44 jaar wees.
Yes.
That's correct.
Masibala ke nalonyaka make 44.
Okay. And so all these years you've spent as a boilermaker, have you driven these trains or just as a boilermaker?
Al die jare, soos jy gewerk het as 'n ketelmaker, het jy ooit een van die treine bestuur?
Nee.
No.
Okay.
Kona yonke ke leminyaka ngisebenzile ke ngazo ke izitimela ka zamalahle cha ukushayela ke cha bengakazi.
Okay. And just lastly, on your experience part, would you recall in 1991 the Great South African Steam Festival? Did you participate in that?
Was die een van die laaste vraag van u ondervinding van die treine meneer in 1991 van die the rail?
The great, it's known as the Great South African Steam Festival. Took place for 5 days or so around 1991.
Die groot stoom festival, was jy deel van dit? Wat gewoonlik 5 dae vat.
Ja, ons het die laaste, ons het elke jaar met Rouvros Tour, het ons van Pretoria af Heidelberg toe. Dit is, ja, ons doen dit jaarliks. So ver nog jaarliks.
So far, yes, every year or on a yearly basis. From Heidelberg Bantu,
Van Pretoria to Heidelberg en Heidelberg Pretoria.
from Pretoria to Heidelberg and Pretoria to Heidelberg back to Pretoria.
Okay.
Yabo ke lo mgubho okhuluma ngawo omkhulu ke wala eMzansi wawenza ngo-1991 kunjalo ke futhi lo mgubho sasiwenza yonke unyaka futhi libe khona sisuka lapha ya Pitoli Heidelberg sibule khona futhi ePitoli.
And are you familiar with the different classes of the steam locomotives, in particular the Class CA 2045, CA 2050, or the CA classes, if I may?
Het jy enige kennis van die verskillende klasse CA 45 of CA, the last second CA?
Ja, 2915. 2950.
Yes,
the
2050.
Ja, dit is 15 CA.
Yes.
Ja.
Yes.
La makla sikhuluma ngawo ke manje ke anezidombolo zakhona akhwazeke maze khona ile ewu15 CA 2950.
And during your experience of working on these trains, were you exposed to various classes of trains?
Gedurende ondervinding van die verskillende klasse wat u gewerk het u enige ondervinding van die verskil van dit?
Ja.
Yes.
Kunjalo futhi ngesipilweni ke sami ke ngisebenza ngazo izitimela bengaziye futhi ke nawo ukuhlukahlukana kwezinombolo nabo lama class alezi zitimela.
Okay. And did you also become familiar during your work experience with the protocols of how these trains had to be operated, or when they are to move, what should be done?
Met die ondervinding meneer het jy enige kennis van die manier wanneer 'n trein moet beweeg, wat moet gedoen word?
Ja.
Yes.
Kunjalo futhi ke ekusebenzeni manje ngathola nolwazi lokuthi ke ikuphi kufanele kwenzeke noma kwenziwe lezi zitimela zingaqala ukuhamba ngingasuki siqala ukusebenza.
Okay. Now let's go to your involvement in this case. Is it correct that on the 1st of March in 2023 you were visited at your place of work by a warrant officer Burgess in the company of the investigating officer who was Colonel Mawila in this matter?
Dis nou kom na die saak waar is het correct meneer dat op die eerste Maart 2023 het meneer polisiebeampte Burgers hier gekom nader? That's correct.
Kunjalo futhi mhla 1 ke March 2023 kwafemele warrant officer uBurgess yama ke nomphenyi engu Colonel Mawila.
Did you know warrant officer Burgess prior to that, or you didn't know him?
Het jy hom geken, officier Burgess, of het jy hom nie geken?
Nee, ek het hom nie geken.
No, I did not.
Cha ke ngesikhathi ke warrant officer uBurgess ngangamazi.
And what sort of assistance was sought of you in regard to what Burgess and Colonel Mawili were doing?
Wat is die bijstand wat hulle by u gesoek het meneer? Dit is officier Burgess en polisiebeampte Burgess en kolonel Mawili.
Hulle graag informasie gehad het oor die stoomlokomotiewe.
They wanted information of the steam locomotive.
Okay. And did you provide, assist in providing such information?
Het jy hulle gehelp meneer?
Ja.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Kahle ke usizo babelifuna mina ke nake Warrant Officer uBurgess benayo Colonel Mawila babefuna ke uthi ke ngibanikeze imininingwane ngestimela ke samalahle nebala futhi ngakwenza lokho.
And is it also correct that a statement, a written statement was taken of you by Colonel Mawila on the 3rd of August in 2023?
Dit is correct, meneer, dat na hulle genader het hulle verklaring afgeskryf op die 3 Augustus 2023.
That's correct.
That's correct.
Maybe can I just have the date? Is it 3rd August or 30th August?
It's the 3rd
Thank you.
August 2023.
Thank you, lady. Kuna fika ngisala ukuthi ke ngomhla 3 August 2023 uColonel Mawila wabha appointment sami ke.
And is it also correct that you, despite this statement, you deposed to a further supplementary shorter statement on the 5th of October of the same year, 2023?
Is dit correct, meneer, dat na je die eerste verklaring afgegeven het je de tweede verklaring, een kortere verklaring afgeschreven op die 15 Oktober 2023?
That's correct.
That's correct.
Kunjalo futhi ngiphinde ngenze mina wasasifishane ke ukuthi ngasenza futhi ngomhla 15 October nyaka 2023.
Okay, let's begin with the first statement of 3 August 2023.
As ons kan na die verklaring gaan van die 3 Augustus 2023.
That would appear in page 229, my lady.
Yes, I've got it.
230, yes. When this statement was taken from you, did you write it down yourself, or it was the investigating officer, police officer, who wrote what you indicated?
Meneer, toe die verklaring afgeskryf is, het die self dit afgeskryf of was dit die polisiebeampte wat dit afgeskryf het na u vir hom gesê het wat hy net u gepraat het afgeskryf is dit?
Ek het gepraat en uitgeskryf.
Your worship, my lady, the statement was I spoke and the officer wrote down.
Kata manje ke mina ngangikhuluma mase ukuthi ke iphoyisa lekhona lapho edepartment sam uyena bayibhala phansi mase ngikhulumile.
Okay. And just before we proceed on that, do I understand that when you were conversing with the officer and Burgess, with the investigating officer and warrant officer Burgess, you conversed in English and not necessarily in Afrikaans?
Soos is het correct wat ek verstaan dat toe u die verklaring afgeskryf het of met die polisiebeampte gepraat het, die ondersoekbeampte, het u in Engels gepraat en jy het nie Afrikaans gepraat, is
Nee,
correct?
ek het verduidelik in Afrikaans en hy het in Engels vertaal.
I spoke in Afrikaans and he interpreted in English.
Or he interpreted in English? Oh,
Lesikhathi ke ngikhuluma ke naye ke warrant officer uBurgess naye ke ongumphenya qala ngakade ngikhuluma ngolimi lwesibhunu. Bona basibasidoka ke ngelimi ke lesilungu.
okay. And so the statement was reduced in English.
En die verklaring was in Engels geskryf.
Dis correct.
That's correct.
Kunjalo ke sabe sibhalwe ngolimi ke lesilungu.
And after the statement had been reduced into writing in English, were you given an opportunity to go over it to satisfy yourself that it is containing what you were relating to them?
Meneer, na die verklaring in Engels afgeskryf het, het u tyd gekry om dit deur te lees in Engels om te verstaan alles wat u gesê het is afgeskryf.
Dis correct.
Yes, that's
correct.
Kunjalo futhi sesiqede ukubhala ngasingasifundisa mina sami ke ngifuna nethi konke kubhalwe la kunjengoba ngikubekile.
Okay. And upon being satisfied with the contents, you signed the statement.
na jy die verklaring afgeskryf het en gesien dat alles is korrek en bevestig alles is reg, het jy geteken, is dit korrek?
Dis correct.
That's correct.
Kunjalo futhi just ngifuna ngabona konke okubhalwe la kuqondile masingasana sabenze sami.
And you did this in the presence of a person called a commissioner of oath, that is that investigating officer, Colonel Mawila.
En die wat jy gedoen het, meneer, dit was voor Colonel Mawila, is dit korrek? Commissaris, meneer Mawila wat dit gecommission, is dit korrek?
Dis correct.
That's correct. Dit was voor hom gedoen, nee?
Dis reg.
That's correct.
Kunjalo futhi ke aqinisa ke lokhu phambi kwakhe ke uphenyo ecala unomzane uKolonel Mawila waseke naye waxaviza la wasayinwa phambi kwakhe uKolonel Mawila.
And the second statement, the shorter one on the 5th of October 2023, is it correct that you spoke and it was reduced also into writing in English?
Die tweede verklaring wat afgeskryf het op die 5de Oktober 2023, jy het gepraat en het was afgeskryf in Engels, is dit korrek?
Dis correct.
That's correct.
And
Kunjalo
then,
futhi lesalela futhi lesifishane nazo futhi ke ngasenza sabhanga ngolimi lesilungu sivale phansi futhi ke ngolimi ke lesilungu uyena ke uKolonel Mawila.
and with regard to that one also, the shorter one, you conveyed the information in Afrikaans and it was translated into English.
En ook die verklaring wat so kort, die kort verklaring wat afgeskryf is, meneer, was hier in Afrikaans gepraat en dit was vertolk in Engels, dit korrek?
Correct, ja.
That's correct.
Kunjalo futhi ngikhuluma ngalimi ke lesibhunu kodwa la semene kwakubhalwe sibhalwe ngolimi ke lesilungu.
Okay. And maybe despite the fact that it is written in English, is it correct that you actually can understand English? It's just that it's not your mother tongue and
Yeah.
you feel comfortable speaking in your mother tongue, which is Afrikaans.
Meneer, als het in Engels geskryf, maar je verstaan Engels en dus je voelt net, je kan beter jezelf beter voel om in je moedertaal te praten. Is het correct, meneer?
Correct.
That's correct.
Kunjalo ke masibhale ngalimi lesilungu ke semane sami futhi ilimi lesilungu ngiyalizwa ulimi ngiyaqonda futhi kodwa ke ulimi lami ngalincelebeleni ngisona ke isibhunu ngeke ngizwe ukuthi hayi ke ngisesimene sikahleke uma ngizokhuluma noma ke ngifune ngalimi lami ke lesibhunu.
Okay. And on that statement, the short one, is it correct you also were satisfied with the contents and you signed it before a commissioner of oaths?
En meneer, voor je geteken, je het deurgelezen en je was tevreden met de manier wat het was, hoe het was geschreven. Is het correct?
Correct.
That's correct.
Kunjalo futhi naso semene sami lesisipile sesifishane kakhulu ngagculiseka ke futhi ngako ngaso nokubhalwe kuzo statement ngase ngasifungela futhi phambi kwephosa enesikhundla ke esiphezulu uKolonel Mawila.
My lady, I would seek to have the statement handed, the statements handed. They are one after the other.
Exhibit
What was our last?
T.
It is T.
We had V.
We had V. May I
Then
just?
we went back to Exhibit U.
Yes,
So
I
the last exhibit letter of the alphabet we used was V.
was V.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
That will now be Exhibit W1, the first statement, and W2
And W2 for the second
for the
statement.
second.
As the court pleases. I would then propose to read the statement into the record, and then you can confirm if indeed this is the statement and it contains what you said.
Mr. Ngobo, you'll read the statement in English and he confirms in Afrikaans and it gets interpreted back to English and then in Zulu.
Correct.
Thank you.
It's a longer process, but I'll do that. I'm starting with Exhibit W1.
Ons sal,
which is the first statement.
ons sal die verklarings deurlees, meneer. Ons gaan begin met die eerste verklaring wat u afgeskryf het. En u sal net bevestig.
May I confirm that you do have a copy of the two statements with you as well, save for the one with Ms. Wetboy next to you. You do have your own copy with you.
Is dit korrek, meneer? U het die eie verklaring
Dis korrek.
wat voor u is. That's correct.
Oh, okay. No. Let me then begin to read it. I'll read the paragraph. Gert Willem van Toner states under oath in English that I am an adult white male residing at number 108 Fiat Nicosol Avenue, Parktown Estate, Pretoria, Les Marais, employed at Rovos Rail Capital Park, and the cell phone number 060-719-7513. That's paragraph 1.
As ons paragraaf 1 sal lees, Gert Willem van Tonder, verklaring onder eed in Engels in Engels. Ek is 'n ouer wit man wat by my woning is 108 Fiat Nicholson Avenue in Parktown in Pretoria. Hy is Les Marais. Hy werk by Rovos Rail Capital Park en die selnommer is 0607197513.
Correct.
That's correct.
Kunjalo ke semele sikhona ke phamba kwami manje esifasa W1 phambi kwenkantolo sifunde kanje ngingoGert Willem van Tonder. Samane sami ngesibhalwe ngesilungu sithi ke ngaphansi kwesifundo sibhaleka sifunde kanje. Ngingumlisa ke omnungu khona uhlala phaya in house number 10 Feed Nicholson Avenue, Parktown Estate, Pretoria, Les Marais. Ngingumsebenzi walapha ka Rovos Rail Capital Park. Nenombolo yami kamazisa ithi 0607197513.
Paragraph 2, I'm a steam boiler maker at Rovos Rail. On the 1st of March 2023 in the morning, I was approached by Mr. Burgess from the South African Police Service, who requested me to assist him with information about steam locomotive. I am having a 43 in bracket 43 years experience as a boiler maker, and I know the steam locomotives.
Paragraaf 2, ek is 'n ketelmaker by Rovos Rail op die 1 Maart 2023 in die oggend. Ek was nader by meneer Bacchus van die Suid-Afrika Police Dienste wie my gevra het om by te staan oor informasie oor die stoomlokomotief. Ek het 43 jaar kennis of ondervinding soos 'n ketelmaker en ken die lokomotief, die stoomlokomotief.
Kanti ke ukusebenza ke sorry,
that's correct.
kunjalo ke futhi masibela phaya ke kulo paragraph elandelayo la kuswa khona ngingu boiler maker. Bangu boiler maker ke ngisebenza ngazo izitimela ke lezi zamalahle khona phaya Rovos Rail. Ngomhla ka 1 ke ku March 2023 ekseni kwafika mina ke umnomzane ke uBurgess ephambotho lamaphoyisa ke ala eMzansi wangicela ukuthi ngimsize ngemininingwane ke ngazo ke izitimela ke zamalahle. Isipilweni sami lo msebenzi iminyaka ewu43 ngenza ke lo msebenzi ngiboiler maker futhi ke ngiyazazi nezitimela ke zawo ke amalahle.
And in that paragraph, before I proceed, there is a portion that is scratched and initialed and signed, would that have been signed by yourself? The 52 is scratched and replaced with 43.
Meneer, as je die paragraaf kijkt, in paragraaf 2, dat is een foto of iets wat afgeskrapt is daar, 52, en iets getekend, is het correct?
Dis korrek.
That's correct.
Yes.
Kunjalo futhi masingasuke ke kulapho sifuna khona paragraph number 2 lapha kula number 5 basuka phezulu kukhona la xikizwe khona u52 kuma bracket kuno 52 oxikiziwe lapho wabhalwa u43 iphutha lelo lenzeka thema sesixikize lapho ke ngase ngasayina ke eceleni ngisayina iphutha leli ke elalenziwe.
And you did that with other alterations you signed and the officer signed also.
Meneer, waar enige fouten begaan het in die verklaring, dat was afgeschreven en weer getekend met die andere politiebeambte wat samen die is.
Dis korek.
That's correct.
Kunja futhi ke amanye amaphutha yakhona yenziwa khona lapho bawuxikizwe lilungiswe iphutha mase ngiyasayina lo phutha kanti futhi ke nombhalo wayibhala passment naye waseke wasayina.
Okay, I'm now reading paragraph 3. Mr. Burgess wanted to know how the steam locomotive stops. I then told him it stops in a distance of 1,500 meters on a speed of 60, and the 60 in brackets, in numerical, kilometers per hour. We also discussed about the buffer bin, which is used to join the coach and the locomotive, which is under the coupler or the coupler, which makes it difficult to disconnect the locomotive and the coach.
Die paragraaf 3, dat zegt dat meneer Burgess wou geweet het hoe het die stoomlocomotief gestop. Ik heb hom verduidelik of gesê dat dit stop van 'n afstand van 1500 as dit 1500 meters op 'n spoed van 60 kilometers per uur. Ik heb ook voor hem verduidelijk dat die koppelaar wat tussen is wat pinpaffer.
Koppelaar tussen trokke.
Die koppelaar tussen trokke is die ene wat die coaches van die locomotief bij koppel is dit.
Ja, aan mekaar.
Aan mekaar wat onder die koppelaar wat maakt het onmoontlik om die koppelaars te omkoppel. Als het beweegt.
Ja, is correct.
That's correct.
Kunjalo futhi masiqhubela basifuna ku-paragraph number 3. Enye into futhi yenozana Burgess ayifuna wayifuna ukuthi ke utsheleke ukuthi ke isitimela ke lesi ke samalahle sima kanjani ke uma sesima kasingamtshela ukuthi sima ke ibanga eli 1500 meters ngesitimela esihamba ngesivinini sika 60 kilometers nge-hour. Sakhuluma futhi ke into ekuthiwa ke i-buffer bin. Lokho ke kuyinsimbi exhumanisa ke ngaphansi phaya kwesitimela icarriage futhi kusiza ekutheni ke lokungahlukaniki ke kalula.
In paragraph 4, as I was assisting him, I also took to the steam locomotive for explanation. During that time of the accident, there was instruction of signing the roadworthy of the steam locomotive before it leaves the depot. This authorization was supposed to be done boilermaker and steam feeder. This was assistance of minimization of accident, and this was another form of steam locomotive before departing from the depot it is on?
Zoals hij bijgestaan het hij hem ook naar die stoomlocomotief verder verduidelijk. Gedurende die tijd van die ongeluk, daar was een instructie van tekening dat die padwertige certificaat van die stoomlocomotief voordat die depot verlaat. Die machtiging moet gedaan worden door die ketelmaker en die stoomfitter. Dit was dit gehelp met een vermindering van ongeluk. Die andere manier van stoomlocomotief voor dit verlaat van die depot af.
Dis correct.
That's correct.
Wanneer zo foto te mas ko besa mene samige ngiti. Yena ke o phoyisa ke u burgers. Wayesefuna ukuthi ke ngiqhubeke ngimazi futhi ngokunye ngazo isitimela ke lezi ke esikhuluma ngazo itimela ke zamalahle ngimchazele ukuthi kwenzakalani. Nebala futhi ke ngakwenza ke lo ngamthatha ngimisa khona ke esitimeleni lesi ke sawo ke amalahle. Nokuthi futhi ke kunomyalelo othi singakaphumi esitimela singasuku lapho kumele ukuthi ke lo oyiboiler maker asibheke esitimela abone ukuthi ngabe sisesimene esikahle yini ukuthi ke sisebenze noma ke sihambe ehlangane futhi naye lo osuke ewufitha assistant. Futhi lokho kwenzela ukuthi kuqiniswe maqinisekise ukuthi amathuba engozi mancane ingakho fanele qalele isitimela sihlolwe kuyima singena ke kujantshi sihambe.
Paragraph 5, you then swear that you know and understand the contents of the statement and you have no objection to taking the prescribed oath. You consider it binding on your conscience, and then there is a signature. Is that your signature appearing there?
In paragraaf 5, meneer, is daarbij je het genomen dat je verstaan die verklaring en dat je het geen om die je te nemen en alles wat geschreven is bindend, is dat correct?
Ja, dat is correct.
En dit is die handtekening op die onderbladzijde. That's correct.
Kunjalo futhi lapha ekugcineni paragraph number 5 ngithi ke ngiyaqinisa ngithi konke ke obhakela semande sami kuyiqiniso futhi ngiyakwazi angiphikisane futhi ukuthatha isifungo futhi ke isifungo sithatha ngokuphezela unembeza wami nebala futhi ke ngasayina statement sami.
With regard to this, what is contained in paragraph 4, you say in the second sentence, at the time of the accident, were you referring to the time of the alleged accident in 1967, that there were instructions?
Meneer, als ik praat van die in paragraaf 4, toen je genoemd van die ongeluk, dat daar was instructies. Praat u van die zaak wat ons van praat? Is het?
Nee, dit kan onmoontlik nie daai saak wees nie, want ek is gebore in 1965 en die ongeluk het 1967 gebeur.
No, that is not so. My date, Your Worship, I was not yet born at the time of this accident that taken.
Uyabona ke uma ngikhuluma la ku paragraph number 4 ngokuhla kwesitimela kusisingakaphumi mara ke nezingozi manengozi angikhulumi ngalengozi isitimela sikhuluma ngayo ma esodingida njengamanje eyenza ngo1967 mina ngangibona
65
mina ngazala ngo1965 mangikhuluma ngomngozi ngikhuluma ngomngozi nje obungenzeka hayi ukuthi kumala lecala la 1967.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's clear. That same second sentence of paragraph 4, which starts with, during the time of the accident, there was instruction of signing of roadworthy of the steam locomotive before it leaves the depot. What was that referring to? What was that period time of the accident in particular? What were you referring to?
Meneer, en weet jy net die instant wat u so geskryf het, gedurende die ongeluk, daar was 'n instruksietekening van die padwerdigheid van die stoomlokomotief voordat die depot verlaat. En wat kan jy verduidelik van aan die verwys?
Ek het dit nie gekoppel aan daai spesifieke ongeluk nie. Ek het dit gekoppel dat indien daar 'n padwaardigheidssertifikaat geteken word, dat dit minder die ongelukke minder veroorsaak op treine.
When I made the statement, it was the statement. What I was trying to explain is that in the event of this certificate being handed, it is to secure or to minimize any accidents that could take place, but as a whole, but not specifically that incident.
Kwesifakela ke enozon Fantonder la ke ku paragraph number 4 la khona ke umugqa number 2 la kuthi ke kuso leso sikhathi salengozi kwanomyalelo othi Fatima zibheke ukuthi ngabe sesimeni yini sokuthi sibeke semgaqweni masisuke sihambe lapho ke depot na. Impendulo yami ethi ke cha ngaqondisile ke uma ngakhuluma ngaloku ngangichaza nje ukuthi ukuze phela kugwemeke noma kwehlisa izinga lobungozi kumele kube khona isitifiketi mephepha eliphumayo elikhombula isitifiketi lestimela sisesimeni sokuthi sikwazi ukusuka edepot sihambe siye la soke sesiyakhona.
And so this was a general requirement.
Dit is 'n gewone sertifikaat wat nodig het.
That's correct, yeah.
That's correct.
Kunjalo futhi ke yinto efanga ukuthi yenzele kube khona isitifiketi esikhomba ukuthi istimela sesimeni sokuthi ke sisebenze.
And there you, just after that you mentioned, in the third sentence you mentioned authorization was supposed to be done by a boiler and steam fitter. Were those different occupations? The steam fitter and the boiler.
As jy kom praat op die derde sin wat jy geskryf het, die magte moet kom van ketelmaker en 'n stoomfitter. Dit bedoel is twee verskillende posisies wat die magte kan gee.
That's correct, yeah.
That's correct.
Okay.
Kuqiniseka ukuthi ke la kusena ku paragraph number 4 la kukhona lokugunyazwa fanele kwenziwe khulazi ke uboiler maker beno steam fitter. Angabe ke benza ke into edala abantu impendulo yami lapho ithi yebo.
If you can explain, what does the boiler maker in the context of steam locomotives do?
Wat is u werk soos 'n stoom soos 'n ketelmaker in die stoomlokomotief? Wat is die werk? Wat doen jy daar?
Op die ketelmakerkant doen ek die boiler uitwaste en sertifiseer net die ketel alleenlik. Die ketelmaker, dis sy werk.
From the boiler maker, I just make sure that the boiler is working, is in good working order.
Ngokolami ke uhlangothi fanele engapha ngiyuboiler maker fanele ngiqiniseke ukuthi ke ubhayela usesimeni esikahle sokuthi ke uyasebenza uma ke phela ke istimela ke sesosuka sami. Ubhayela nje fanele ukuthi uhlezi uyasebenza.
And if you can just explain the difference for me also between what the boiler maker does and the person known as the fireman. We've gotten a term of somebody called the fireman. What was the difference there?
As ek kan 'n verduideliking gee van 'n ketelmaker en die veerman.
Ja, die difference, die verskil tussen die boilermaker is hy doen die ketel en die firelighter hy steek die ketel op. Met ander woorde hy maak dit vuur.
The difference between the fireman and the boiler maker, the fireman, the boiler maker sees to na die boiler, na die,
Die ambaggedeelte, ja.
yeah,
van 'n artis.
the boiler, and the fireman sees too. He's like the one who makes the fire or lights the fire.
Umehluko la kwa boiler maker ke nalokho kuthiwa ke uyi fireman ubhekana ke nomlilo. Uboiler maker ke na owenza isiqiniseko sokuthi ke lapha ya ubhala khona ke uyasebenza mase uthi lona ke yena ke ufaka ke amalahle emlilweni ngoba phela kufanele hleze kuvutha ukuze phela ke ubhayile lo ushise ukuze kuphume ke umusi ke khona lapho.
May I proceed to read the second statement, Exhibit W2.
As ons kan na die tweede verklaring toe gaan.
Dis korrek.
That's correct.
It says, Gert Willem van Tonder further states under oath in English that I am an adult white male residing at 108 Fred Slissos Avenue, Parktown Estate, Pretoria, Lesmere, employed at Revos Rail, Capital Park, Pretoria, and your cell phone number.
As ons nou na die tweede verklaring gee dat ek Gert Willem van Tonder die verder verklaring wat in Engels is dat ek is ouer wit man bly by nommer 108 Fred Cecil Avenue Parktown Estate in Pretoria. Hy werk by Revos Rail Capital Park in Pretoria en die selnommer is ook daar.
Dis korrek.
That's correct.
Kunjalo futhi mase setemene samle isikise sibili sesithe sifishane ke sona isifile so U2 phambi kwenkantolo sifuneka nje ngoGert Willem van Tonder naku ke engikushoyo ngaphansi kwesifungo ngolimi lwesilungu ngingumuntu wesilisa omhlophe ngihlala number 108 Fred Nicholson Avenue Parktown estate Pretoria kuLesmere ngisebenza phaka eRevos Rail Capital Park khona Pretoria. Inombolo yami ke manje inombolo yami yamakhalekhukhwini safana u0607197513.
Paragraph 2 reads, I am the steam boiler maker at the Revos Rail. I confirm the stopping distance of the steam locomotive would be 1,050 meters if the train was traveling 40 kilometers per hour. It is all what I can state. Full stop.
In die tweede verklaring is sê dat ek is die ketelmaker by Revos Rail. Ek affirm dat die afstand van die stoomlokomotief waar hy stop sal as hy die spoed of waar hy sal staan op 1050 kilometers is as dit op 40 kilometer per uur gery het. En dis al wat ek wil sê.
Is dit 40 km of 60 km?
Is it, may I get correction, my lady? Is it 40 or 60?
40.
40.
Dis korrek. Dis korrek.
That's correct.
Kube lapha paragraph number 2 ngisasho ngithi ke mina ke steam boiler maker ngamazwi ke ngiakhakabona ke oboiler khona lapha eRevos Rail. Ngiyaqinisa ke ukuthi ke ibanga la stimela ke sama lahle fanele sime ngaso 1050 meters. Estimeleni esihamba u40 kilometers nge-hour. Ngikona ngifisa ukusho ke lokho.
And what follows is your swearing, indicating I know and understand the content of this statement. I have no objection to taking the prescribed oath, and I consider the oath to be binding on my conscience, and there is a signature. Is that your signature?
Paragraaf 3 sê net dat is waar die eed geneem het, dat die verstaan die alles wat afgeskryf het in die verklaring en jy het geen behaal om die eed te neem en jy wat na hy ingesweer het, het is gesê dat dit is bindend en het geteken is het correct.
Dis correct.
That's correct, Malek.
Khona futhi paragraph number 3 la sengivala khona sengithi ke okubhalwe ngasehla ngiyaqinisa kunjengoba semendeni sami futhi yangiphikisana ukuthatha isifungo futhi ukuthatha isifungo ngizosebenzibophezela unembeza wami. Ngiyaqinisa ke lokhu ngase ngakusayina ke futhi emva kwalokho.
I want your comment if this is correct or not. I'm now no longer reading from your statement. I'm reading from what Warrant Officer Burgess told the court.
Ek gaan net 'n kommentaar kry meneer. Ek wil net iets sê, 'n vraag wat polisiebeampte Burgess vir die hof gesê het. Okay, net die kommentaar. Yes.
In his statement, he indicated under paragraph 9.2 of Burgess' statement, subparagraph 1, subparagraph 5 of that, he indicated Rovos Rail have a couple of working locomotives. Would that be correct?
Wat hy in sy verklaring gesê het, dat Rovos Rail het 'n paar stoomlokomotief. Is that correct?
Dis correct, op die oomblik 2.
That's correct at the moment too.
Ngifunda manje sakhe manje officer Burgess light khona ke lapha ya ka Rovos Rail zikhona zimbala isitimela lapha esebenzayo isitimela za malahle impela mithi kunjalo ke mhlambe zibili.
He continues in that sentence to say, but not a class 15 CA type.
Maar wat hy verder gesê het dat dit, maar daar is nie vir 'n klas 15
CA.
15 CA.
Ja.
Yes.
Kunjalo futhi ke maqhubeka Warrant Officer Burgess athi kodwa hayi leli class elu 15 CA. Yebo kunjalo.
Okay. He then says, on consultation with Mr. Van Tonder of Rovos Rail, the stopping distance is a calculation from the standard that a locomotive and train traveling at 60 kilometers per hour would take 1,500 meters to stop. Therefore, a locomotive and train traveling at 40 kilometers per hour would stop in 1,050 meters. Full stop. Would that be correct?
Is dit correct wat hy ook verder gesê het dat soos hy met u gepraat het op daardie oomblik meneer in toe hy met u gepraat het, daar was dat die afstand van of die afstand van waar die stoomlokomotief sal stop as dit op 1500 sal op 60 km per uur moet ry. En ook als het op 1000 als het 40 is, zal op 1050 zal stoppen op 1050 meter stop, afstand stop als het op 40 kilometers per uur. That's correct.
Kunjalo futhi maqhubeka sifuna ke semesa kubona officer Burgess. Sifuna siqhubeka sithi ukuma ke besikhathi ke khulumisana nanozana uFan Tonder. Ukuma kwesitimela esihamba ngo-60 kilometers nge-hour fanele sime and masimiswe ku-1,500 meters ke lapho. Kodwa masihamba ke isitimela ngo-40 kilometers nge-hour fanele simiswe ku-1,050 meters.
Okay. Now, with regard to the loading of coals by a person you've described as a fireman who loads the coal to make sure it is burning. What are the intervals, if there are any, for doing that from take-off from the depot?
As ons nou kom van die persoon wat die vuur maak, die vuurman, soos hulle sê die vuurman, wat van die tyd af het hy afgevat wanneer hy weg van die depot af, was terwyl hy so ry. Wat is sy, hoe is die intervals of die stop, wat doen hy? Wat is die intervals? Wat is die interval?
If any.
As daar enige.
Die firelighter met ander woorde, as hy vuur maak, ja, nee, hy ry nie self nie. Die lokomotief staan en wag vir die drywer ry hom verder. Het ek verkeerd verstaan?
Did I misunderstand the question? The response is, may I just interpret the response? This train don't travel on its own, but the fire, there is a driver for it. He just makes hy maak net die vuur.
Ja.
The fireman just makes the fire.
Ja. Hy maak net vuur.
He only makes the
Yes.
fire.
What I'm seeking from you is from the depot when the train leaves, the fire would have been made. As it travels, are
May I
there...
we'll just step by step, sir.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. So, wat ek van u soek meneer, ek wil net verduideliking kry. Wanneer die trein verlaat, die depot verlaat, die vuur is al klaar gemaak, is dit nie so nie?
Dis korrek.
That's correct, the fire is made.
And was there protocol or procedure of the gaps within which he should again continue to fill up coal to keep the fire burning, or that was up to the fireman himself?
Is daar een manier of die manier wat die vuur maak, die firelighter maak dat, nadat van die depot verlaat het, is daar weer een tye waar hy weer met vol maak om die vuur laat aan te gaan, of daar is nie een procedure wat...
Ja, dis korrek. Dan moet weer vuur gemaak word daarna. As hy in beweging is, die lokomotief in beweging is, dan raak die stoomdruk al minder. So hy moet die hele tyd met hy vuur maak, bly vuur maak, tot die proses klaar is.
Yes, the fireman has to continually make the fire. It depends on the steam. When the steam has gone down, then he has to continue making the fire until the process is completed.
Oh, okay.
Lestimela ke uma sesuka vele amalahle asuke sefakiwe efaka yena ke ubhuti losuke efaka ke amalahle umlilo ngamazwi usuke uvele usukhona sihambeke isitimela akuveke ukuthi ke kuthiwa ke uzophinda uphinde futhi ufake emva kwe-hour namhlanje emva ama-minutes of 5 uloke nje efakile amalahle emlilweni ngoba phela lesikhathi ke kwehla lapha ke kubhayela kwehla ke umusi fanele aqhubeke afake ukuze umusi phela ungasaleli ngezansi noma ungaseli ngemuva kuleqhubekile njena ke esihlohlile ke isitimela noma ubhala wakhe ke ngawo ke amalahle lawa.
Okay. My lady, I have no further questions.
Yes, Mr. Dunya.
Mr. Van Dunder, did I understand you as telling this court that there are prescripts that regulate the movement of a locomotive?
Meneer, soos ek verstaan, daar is procedure of manier wat die trein dat werkt of dat ry of iets.
Ja, daar is 'n procedure wat maak dat die trein kan ry, so met ander woorde, ja.
Yes, there is procedures that are followed to make the train move.
Kunjalo impela ke kungamyelo yakhona landelwayo noma ke egunyaza ukuhamba noma ukulawula ukuhamba kwazo ke izitimela.
The first of such prescripts is the issuing of a rail worthiness. Am I correct?
Die eerste van die die wat ons sê is die magtiging van die certificaat. Is dit korrek, die eerste ene?
Ja,
Kunjalo.
Yes.
Kunjalo nje. Oqala lesi certificate nephepha eligunyaza ukuthi ngempela isitimela sesimeni ujike sesingahamba noma singeke ujantshi sihambe. Sebenza.
Am I correct that the issuing of a rail worthiness is giving of a clean bill of health to the locomotive, which amongst other things includes its braking system?
Die certificate is iets wat sê dat die locomotief, daar is geen probleme met dit.
Dis
Daar is
korrek.
geen brekery wat sal gebeur nie.
Dis korrek.
That's correct.
Kunjalo futhi into kanje ebhekayo futhi ebalekile ukuthi ke fanele bheke ukuthi isitimela sesimeni yini esiphelele asikhwehle ndawo asithimula ndawo singabe simeke ukuthi sihambe nokuthi ke fanele sikubheke futhi ke nama blake ukuthi wona ke asesimeni yini awakhwehle ndawo na.
So am I correct to say that there is a second set of prescripts that regulates the conduct of the crew during or when an accident had occurred?
Is het correct meneer dat daar is ook weer een procedure of je kan zeggen iets wat moet gedaan worden als daar ongeluk is? Dis nou die werkers wat daar is.
Ja, ja.
Yes.
Kunjalo futhi bakhona nike nemthizo mgomandela la kumele khona phela ukuthi kubhekwa ukwenzeka kwengozi noma ingozi esuke isebenzakalile nalapho futhi fanele kubhekele ukuthi ke lokho ke kwenziwa kanjani.
So can you take us through those prescripts in an instance of a train accident? What is expected of the crew members, the do's and don'ts?
Kan u ons net 'n verduideliking gee wat is verwagting van die werkers wat daar is as daar sê nou daar is 'n ongeluk wat gebeur het, wat moet hulle doen en wat moet hulle nie doen nie?
Die werkers wat in daai omstandighede daar is, het niks te doen met die rapport van dit. Die drywer.
Okay. The workers or the crew that are there in the event of an accident have nothing to do with there's nothing that they can do.
In daai proses, die drywer is verantwoordelik.
It is the driver that has to the driver is responsible.
Kahle ke ithimba ke solikhona ke lapho ke makhulwa ngaso ke estimela ake sikhulume ke manje ke makwenzeka ingozi lokhu ke ithimba elifanele likwenze nalo ongamele ukuthi ithimba ke likwenze. Impani lami lapho ithi ithimba cha hlangene konke kusekuleleke kumshayeli umqhubi westimela.
What are the responsibilities of the driver of a locomotive and or a train?
Mr. Dunya, he said he's never, he's not a driver. You mean what positions they take?
Correct, my lady. I'm very much alive to the fact that he has not been a driver,
Yes.
but he has told court that he knows of the prescripts that regulate the conduct, what each person has to do.
Has to do.
And yes, my
Okay.
lady, that is the issue.
Oh, thanks.
They say, can you tell us what becomes the responsibilities of the locomotive driver when an accident happens?
Meneer, kan u net verduidelik wat is die responsabiliteit van die bestuurder van die locomotief as daar 'n ongeluk is.
Hy moet dit onmiddellik aanmeld.
He has to immediately report it.
Umsebenzi wakhe ke umshayeli umqhubi waso kwesitimela uma kwenzeka ke ingozi ummeke ukuthi ngaso sikhathi ayibike kwabaphezulu ke udaba.
To who,
Mr.
sir,
Junior,
in particular?
sorry. About the time,
Yes, my lady. My lady, can we take the lunch adjournment? Because I still have a few questions to converse with the witness.
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Meneer van Donders, we'll take a long adjournment. We'll resume at 2:15.
Ons gaan net etenstyd toe gaan meneer ons sal by 2:15 terugkom.
Dis korrek.
Sanchez ubesipho ngora past 2.
Let's adjourn until 2:15.
Dit is fantasties. Ek waardeer jou.
Mr. Van Tonder, you're still under your former oath.
Is nog onder die eet wat hij tevoren geneem het, meneer.
Dis reg.
That's correct, my
Yes,
lady.
Mr. Tonder.
Mr. Van Donder, when we took the lunch adjournment, we were still going through the prescripts that regulates the conduct of the locomotive driver at a scene of an accident.
Meneer Van Donder, ons het deurgegaan die voorskrifte wanneer daar ongeluk is by van 'n bestuurder van 'n lokomotief bestuurder, verstaan jy?
Ja.
Yes.
Kunjalo ke besa singakayi ke Kevin. Bese kwendawo la ukuthi kubofonga nje udriver noma umshayeli wesitimela nakho lama wenzeka ngehlangabezana nengozi.
To be of assistance to you, I would like you to comment on the following, whether there are prescripts that are applicable or not.
Om net u te help, meneer, kan jy enige ek wil net hê u met ons ons kommentaar gee van die voorskrifte of daar is wat 'n samewerking is of nie, verstaan jy?
Ja.
Yes.
Okay. On an occurrence of an accident, a locomotive driver is required to stop the locomotive immediately.
Wanneer daar is 'n ongeluk of 'n update van 'n ongeluk, die bestuurder van die lokomotief moet onmiddellik stop.
Dis korrek.
That's correct.
Kunjalo ke uma ke kuba khona ke ingozi umqhubi nomshayeli wesitimela kumele ukuthi ke asimise isitimela ngokukhulu ukusheshsha noma ngaso lesesikhathi.
He is required to report the accident to his immediate supervisor.
Dit is verwachting van hom dat hy moet onmiddellik die incident rapporteer na sy toesighouer.
Korrek.
That's correct.
Kunjalo futhi kumele ukuthi ke mase nje yenzeka ingozi mase ke lokho akudlulisela noma kubike kulo osuke eusigqoko wakhe noma omphethe.
He is further required to wait for the arrival of the police, the ambulance, and any required expertise to attend to the scene.
Wat is verder verwachting van hom is dat hy moet wag tot die polisiebeampte op die toneel aankom en die ambulance of enige ander senior of ander persone wat kennis het om by te wees by die toneel is dit.
Dis korrek.
That's correct.
Kunjalo futhi ke kumele ukuthi ke alinde ukuthi ke kufike amaphoyisa kufike abe sizo lokuqala ambulance okanye kufike futhi ezinye nje lokuxhopho lapho ke esigamekweni. Yebo kunjalo.
He is required to make an accident statement from the scene before moving away from the scene.
Dit is verwachting van hom om verklaring uit te maak van die incident of die wat gebeur het, die ongeluk en ook te verduidelik van die toneel.
Dis korrek.
That's correct.
Kanti futhi ke kulindelekile ukuthi ke engakasuku ke endaweni yesigameko makhona esigamekweni uqobo abhale phansi phela ke okwenzakala i-statement abhaleke lapho engakasuki lapha esigamekweni.
then the statement has to be a written statement. Am I correct?
Dit is correct. Die verklaring wat gedoen wordt, of wat moet hij doen, is afgeschreven. Is het correct, meneer?
Dis korrek.
That's correct.
Kunjalo futhi ke fanele samene ke sibe sami sibhalwe phansi.
Also, a train driver or a locomotive driver is not allowed to move an injured person from the accident, not even an inch.
Dit is ook dat die bestuurder van die trein of die locomotief bestuurder hy is nie toegelaat om 'n beseerde persoon te beweeg.
Nee.
No.
Kanti futhi ke enye into ke umshayeli umqhubi ke wasoke isitimela akavumelekile uthi ke asuse noma gudluze umuntu osuke elimele lapho ke esigamekweni. Ngisho ke ukususa nje ubhozo cha akuvumelekile lokho.
According to the evidence that was tendered in 1967 during inquest proceedings into the death of Chief Albert Luthuli, evidence of Mr. Latagan, who was the driver, to the effect that he had moved the injured Chief Luthuli from where he was lying to a spot which he considered more comfortable.
Dis getuienis wat uitgekom het in 1967 in die ondersoeking van die dood van Chief Albert Luthuli. Dit was sy woorde wat hy het gesê in sy getuienis dat hy moes Chief Albert Luthuli beweeg van 'n plek waar hy was na 'n plek waar hy kon gemaklik gewees het.
Nee.
Was his conduct permissible in terms of the regulatory framework?
Wat hy gedoen het, was dit die reg, was dit
Dit was verkeerd.
Dit was reg of verkeerd?
Verkeerd.
It was wrong.
Kanti ke efazi makhe nozake uLatagan uthi wena ke wayeshayela ke isitimela kalesi. Uthi ke ekulimaleni kwakhe ke Chief Albert Luthuli wamsusa lapho ekade khona wamisa endaweni engathi ke indawo ke right lapho ke azabe comfortable kuyona. Umbuzo manje wami uthi angabe lokho kwenza kwakhe kwakusemthethweni kwakulungile ukuthi ke akwenze. Ngiphela ukuthi lapho cha kwangalungile ukuthi ke enze leyo nto.
You would then agree with me that when Mr. Latagan drove off the scene without police having arrived and him having made a statement was equally wrong.
Sal jy saam met my stem dat wat Latagan gedoen het om weg te ry van die toneel sonder die polisiebeampte teenwoordig van die polisiebeampte of 'n verklaring, dit was nie reg nie.
Nee.
So he was wrong.
He was wrong.
Ngizovumela ukuthi ke ukwenza kanozana ke uLatagan kwaku-wrong njengo-driver phela ukuthi ke ahambe apha esigamekweni wangafika iphoyisa futhi ke engabhali statement ngokwenzekile lapho kwaku-wrong ke lokho.
May the court bear with me for a second, my lady. No further questions for the
Thank
witness.
you. Mr. Msima?
I have no further questions.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Van Tonder. You are excused from the witness box.
Baie dankie meneer Van Tonder. U kan uself verskoon van die getuienis.
Baie dankie.
The court pleases, my lady, the state is ready to call the evidence of Ms. Nell, who in the words of Warrant Officer Burgess was more of the film, the script, yes, the filmmaker.
Simulator.
Yes, but my lady, what I would ask the court for guidance from is the fact that Warrant Officer Nell is given us two sort of scenarios. One being that she can read her statement, which is in English, into the record. When then she continues with her testimony, that being facing the questions, then only then that she is assisted by the Afrikaans interpreter. However, she can read the statement because she wrote the statement in English herself.
Yes. What is her preference?
Her preference is Afrikaans, but the reading of the statement in English because she authored the statement in English herself.
Okay. I think then I don't want to dispense of Ms. Vetboy at this stage because it will cause delay even in so how long will the reading of the statement in English take?
My lady, we may not dispense with our language practitioner, Ms. Vetboy. However, we allow the witness to read her statement
In English.
in English. Then her role might kick in either today or tomorrow, depending on the time she takes, because her statement is voluminous.
Okay, let her read the statement
As the
in
court pleases,
English.
my lady.
But Miss Vetboy, you may find yourself a chair somewhere, and so that you don't leave before knowing whether we'll need you tomorrow morning or this afternoon. Thank you.
As the court pleases, my lady, then
Miss Van Wyk, swap positions, please.
as the court pleases, my lady, then I will hand over to my younger brother, Advocate Ngobo, to lead Warrant Officer Nell.
Yes. Mr. Ngobo, you may call your witness.
Thank you, my lady. I call Warrant Officer Sanet Nell.
Do you want to be sworn in English or Afrikaans?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
My lady.
Yes, swear here in person.
Warrant officer, do you have any objection to taking the prescribed oath?
No, my lady.
Can you please state your full names?
It's Sanet Nell.
Warrant officer, do you swear that the evidence you are about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, my lady.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do so help me God.
I do so help me God.
Sworn in, my lady.
Thank you. You may be seated.
Fazil uthatha isifuko manje-ke uSinet Nell.
My lady, before I ask the witness, there will be reference to two bundle of documents, and I seek leave to hand these to the court for purposes of ease of understanding of the evidence of the witness. They are marked Annexure 1 and Annexure A and Annexure B. This is a court bundle. The witness has got, she's got her copy of it. I may not refer to it today.
Yes.
However, as we go along, she will make reference to these.
To them. Okay, Annexure A and Annexure B.
It's Annexure A and Annexure B, and
So these are
somewhere-
bundles at this time. They are, we'll call them bundles.
we will
Bundles-
just call them bundles for now. Yes,
for now.
yes. And the court, as we proceed, will note that there will be reference to Annexure A and Annexure B. That will be reference to these two bundles.
Thank you.
Because
Thank you
they
very
form
much.
part of a statement, I would not at this stage mark them as exhibits,
Yes,
because
thank
they
you.
are part of a statement.
No, for now, they are just bundles.
They're just bundles for now, yes, correct. Miss Sunet, warrant officer, is it correct that you are employed by the South African Police Services?
Yes, my lady.
Yebo kunjalo ngisembothi amaphoyisa ke ala eMzansi.
Where are you based?
I'm based in Pretoria Central at the LCRC LCRC in Pretoria Central, my lady.
Okay. And is that reference to the local criminal record center?
That's correct, my lady.
La ngikhona ke ngicela phaya ePretoria kwa LCRC Local Criminal Record Center la kugcinwa khona ke ama record.
And this unit is that unit where police officers are based to come to the scenes to take photographs, measure whenever an incident or an offense has taken place.
Yes, my lady.
Kunjalo lolu phela ngaphansi kwalo ke. Ila sibizela khona ke esigamekweni makhona kwenzakalile. Masifika khona ke sive sishuthe ke masithwebule izithombe kanti futhi ke sikale umadinga ukuthi ke sikale.
In this particular case of the death of Chief Albert Luthuli, you understand why you have been called.
Yes, my lady.
Mangodle emhlabeni ke Chief Albert Luthuli ngiyazi ukuthi ke ibizelweni la.
You may have heard from the evidence tendered already that your name has been mentioned as a person who prepared a simulation, the play of events.
Yes, my lady.
Kunjalo futhi ke leke laqhamuka futhi igama lami kaningana nje lesikhathi ke kusadinga lesaqoqa ngendaba ukuthi ke ikuphe sasikwenza silungiselela ukwenzeka noma mhlambe kiso kubenzeka kokudlula emhlabeni kanozwane uChief Albert Luthuli.
And in so doing, you worked closely with warrant officer badges who testified in this court.
I'm working in the same building, but I'm actually working at the facial identification unit. That's a part of the LCRC. So mainly I'm doing the compilations of faces of suspects. But Burgess, both of us at Burgess came to me because I got a graphic and a drawing, artistic field behind me. Expertise, yeah. So he came to me and asked if I can assist him with the simulation for this particular case.
Yes.
Kanti ke ukusebenza nami no one officer uBurgess sisebenza ke e-building elilodwa. Ukusebenza ke kwami ngiyakwazi futhi ke ngidwebe. Kanti futhi ke one officer uBurgess wangicela ke phela ukuthi ke ngisizeke phela ke kuloko ngoba nami ke nginjwa chopho ke uma sekufika kuloko ekudwebeni.
Okay. So what I was referring to was that for purposes of this case, you two worked close.
Yes, yes, my lady, I did.
Mana ke na leyo ke sikwenza la okumana naye uChief Albert Luthuli sasebenzisana ndawonye kakhulu no one officer uBurgess.
Okay. And how many years of experience do you have in the South African Police Services?
14 years, my lady.
Okay.
Ngime ke 14 imbethu yaphoyisa la eMzansi.
And is it also a correct understanding that of all the work that you have done in this case in particular, you have sort of compiled into a comprehensive affidavit all that you did in this matter?
Yes, my lady.
Kanti futhi kona konke engangikwenza imiqhaza wami ngalibamba malana ke nalodaba esedingidayo ngakubhala phansi kwa statement nokho ke amakhasi ekhona ke athanda ukuba maningana.
And you have also, during your work in this case, had the opportunity to travel, take photographs at the ground view, the Luthuli Museum, the scene where this incident allegedly took place in 1967.
Yes, my lady.
Kanti futhi ngithole kona konke sengikwenzile ke emsebenzini wami sengiwenzile ngithole futhi nethola ukuthi ke ngiye endaweni ehlukahlukene ngiyothola khona ke izithombe ngake lapha ya eCrowdville nakhona futhi ngothwebula izithombe ngaye futhi ke lapha ya nasigcini magugu saluthuli malesigabele sesenzeka ngo1967.
And is it also correct that you have been at the place where a witness, Labaskachani, had a train allegedly similar to the one involved here?
Yes, my lady.
Kunjalo futhi ngile futhi endaweni la kanozani ke ka Labaskachani la khona isitime esifana ngamashini macesifane isitime esikhuluma ngaso kulelo daba.
And we saw from the photographs and the videos that were presented during his evidence, you appearing in some of them. Would that be correct?
Yes, my lady.
Kunjalo futhi ke sabona nakuma video ke nezithombe la uvela khona nawe one of us now kulezo sithombe nama video nesizana naye. Kunjalo impela.
And is it also correct that you have, as well with Warrant Officer Burgess, analyzed the evidence from 1967 for purposes of recreating the scenarios of what may or may not have happened during the time?
Yes, my lady.
Kunjalo futhi ngisebenza naye ke one officer uBurgess sahlaze yaboko ufakazi obukhona ke ba 1967 nalilo futhi sibonga ukuthi ke angabe into nje ekhona yini ngabe ke kwenzeka ngalendlela kusho ngayo yini na.
Okay. Before we get to those other things, because your statement is quite comprehensive, do you have a copy of the statement before you?
Yes, my lady, I do.
For purposes of record, her statement is in volume A. It starts from page 232 of the paginated pages, and it goes on and ends at page 247.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
And the statement itself, was this statement prepared by yourself?
Yes, my lady.
Kunjalo menzile sike esikhona ke phambi kwami samele sike sami ngazenzela mina.
And were you then, did you prepare it to and incorporated all the things that you did in the investigations and analysis.
Yes, my lady.
Kunjalo futhi ke kasebenzi sami ngabhala phansi konke engangikwenza ningakuthola isikhathi ke senza lolo phenyo.
And the statement bears at the end of it a signature purporting to be yours, warrant officer. Is that your signature, if you can look at?
Yes, my lady.
Futhi ke nakhona lapha ke ekhasini lokugcina imina futhi ke wasesayina ke khona lapho eqinisa lokho.
And when you signed the statement, is it correct you signed it before a commissioner of oaths on the 16th of August 2024 in Pretoria?
Yes, my lady.
Kunjalo futhi ke ngasinga statement lesike phambi kwalo ke phosa eline isikole singaphezulu kwesami ngomhla 16 August khona ePitoli ngonyaka 2024.
And that was before Irene, warrant officer Irene Faith Numa.
Namalo, yeah, that's correct.
Kuyena ke warrant officer Irene Nxumalo, Faith Nxumalo.
And when you signed the statement, were you sort of satisfied with the accuracy and the correctness of what it contained?
Yes, my lady.
Lesikhathi ngisayina statement sangiqisekile ngokuqonda obuqotho bastatement sami ebengade ngisenzile.
Okay. And in the statement itself, there is reference to certain annexures which I've handed to the court, annexures A and annexure B.
That's correct, ma'am.
Lapho ke kunabathi futhi ayonkantolo annexure A B no B khona futhi statement sami.
And those annexures are a compilation that you put together.
That's correct.
Lokho umhlanganiso ke wami engazenzela wona.
May I then ask, my lady, that the statement having been proved, it can now, I think, be marked
Exhibit X. X.
X, as the court
The
pleases.
statement by this witness, warrant officer Nell, is accepted into the record and is marked Exhibit X.
As the court pleases.
Letamele ke sa warrant officer now says usifayisa uX phambi kwenkantolo.
Ms. Nell, I would request of you to read the statement into the record in your own words, starting from the paragraph, just the small line above number 1,
Okay.
where it starts, warrant officer,
Okay.
Senate Nell declares under oath.
Okay.
Please.
Thank you.
And you will just read paragraph per paragraph and just allow the interpreter to interpret what you have read.
No.
Thank you.
Warrant officer Sanet now declares under oath, in accordance with the section 212, subsection 4 of A and A of 8 of A of the Criminal Procedure Act 51 of 1977 as follows.
Nangu ke akubhalwe laphansi ke ngithi warrant officer Sanet now ngaphansi kwesifungo ngaphansi kosomqulu waseqaphunile ka 212 subsection 4A in brackets no 8A we Criminal Procedure Act 51 ka 1977 nangu ke engikushoyo.
I'm a member of South Africa Police Service with the rank of a warrant officer and service number 717908888. Attached to the LCRC, Local Criminal Record Center of the 4th floor at Betonga Plaza West, 271 Francis Bard Street, Pretoria Central. I am employed as a forensic analyst and a facial identification member.
Number 1 mamla othi ke ngilunga sembutheni maphosa ke ala eMzansi esikhole sibambile sa warrant. Number yami sesiphoyiseni ithi 717908888. Kanti futhi ke njengochaza ukuthi ke ngilapha kwa LC RC, Local Criminal Record Center, la ngichaze khona ukuthi la gcina khona ke record. Lapho la senza khona ke ise 4th floor eBetonga Plaza West 271 Francis Bart Street, Pretoria Central. Ukusebenza wami lapha yonke ngihlaziya ke futhi ke kona siyongezwe ukuthi ehlaze kanti futhi ke nokhomba kubuso ke bomuntu noma babantu.
I've successfully completed the Advanced Crime Scene course at the SABC Training Academic Pretoria Central on 18 June 2010. The training also included methods pertaining to the management of crime scenes, which involved taking photographs of the layouts of crime scenes, collecting exhibits, and also lifting fingerprints. The training further involved the taking of photographs during post-mortems. I was further trained on how to draw sketch plans pertaining to crime scene sites, with key points on a sketch plan. I was taught how to conduct fingerprint analysis, measure crime scene sites, and handle exhibits found at crime scenes.
Kanye futhi ke ngakufundela ke ngaleyo kokwenza ke ukuthi kwenzakalana pha ke masiye ke esigamekweni nokufuna ukuthi ke ngikwenze lapho ke khona ke esigamekweni. Ngiqeqesha phaya e-Training Academy ePretoria, ePretoria Central ngomhla ka 18 June 2010. Ekufundeni ke kwami ke lapho ngafunda ukuthi ke ulawula kanjani indawo ke yesigameko la kumbe ukuthi ke ngithwebele khona ke izithombe lapho ke esigamekeni uma kukhona ke ifakaziso lesikubiza amazibidi ngiyacosha ke futhi lapho ke amazibidi noma ifakaziso kanti futhi ke ngafundisa nokuthi izinsalela zeminwe zithathwa kanjani ukuze makhona okusolakayo ngithatha ke izinsalela ngezayo ke iminwe kanti futhi ngiyaphatheka ekuthatheni izithombe uma ke kuhlinzwa ke isidumbu ke somuntu ngaphinde futhi ke ngaqeqeshelwa ukuthi ke ngidwebe ke khona lapho esigamekweni ngidwebe ukuthi ini isuki laphi mase ngidwebile nginikeza izinombolo ngibhale futhi acela ukuthi ke unumber 1 isithobo number 1 uyini ulaphi uthathwe ngalephi side mase ngithathe lezo sithombe khona konke ke lokhu nakhona futhi ngikwazi ukuthi ngihlaziye izinsalela zeminwe esizithathiwe khona lapho esigamekweni kanti futhi ke egcineni ngiyakwazi nokuthi maniqeqeshela ukuthi ke ngikwazi ukuthi ke ngidwebe ngikwazi ukuthi ngiwaphatha phathe ke futhi wona amazibide asuke etholakala lapho ke ezindabeni esigameko.
Before you proceed,
Yes.
My lady, I'm not certain if she gets tired, if she can sit, but I did indicate before we start that she can request.
Yes, I offered her to sit.
Or as the court
if she
pleases.
wants.
Okay.
Sorry.
Thank you, my lady.
And Ms. Van Beek, are you comfortable?
I am lady for now, but I will
Okay,
for
thanks.
now. Uncomfortable. Thank you, lady.
Okay.
Paragraph 3,
Okay. In 1990.
qualifications and experience.
Sorry. In 1993, I completed a degree in fine arts at Pretoria Technikon. I had an extra year of graphic interpretation, and the subjects included graphic interpretation, history of art, space and volume studies, art drawing, form and coloring, perspectual studies, printmaking 1 and 2, photography, history of art, techniques and methods, and art of drawing 2 and 3.
Before that is interpreted, Melanie, can I just have layman's term? Perceptual studies, what will those entail?
Which one?
Perceptual,
If, lady,
It's like
perceptual studies.
perspective, to know how to do perspective structures.
Perspective structures.
To put everything in
Miss Now,
perspective.
can you speak out loud?
Okay, no, my lady, I'll do
in
so.
your explanation.
No problem, I'll do so, thank you.
What does it entail?
Perspectual studies means is to read perspective. Say, for instance, if something is like a big building and you look down the road and you'll see it go smaller. So you have to see the perspective, the building is actually tall, but in order to see it on a longer view, you have to read the perspective of that thing.
Like zooming out and
Zooming in, out and in, yeah. This basically perspective is to get it in different directions where the building is smaller and higher to be able to read something like
You
that.
got it, Ms. Van Wyk?
I have, my lady, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Masothi ukuqeqeshwa ke kwami ke ngafuna phaya i-fine arts apha Pretoria Technikon. Ngase ke futhi ke ngaqhubeka ke ngomunye unyaka ngenza ke graphic interpretation. Ndiba sichazela ukuthi graphic ke ukudweba nobonke umdwebo wakho kuhamba kanjani. Ukufunda kwami ke futhi lapho ngafundiswa ke nokudweba nje sengichazile kanti futhi ke nemibala nosuhlobo luni lembala kanti futhi ke nezikhala phakathi ke kona ukufunda kwami nosisindo sakho ke lokhu mase futhi ke kube khona lento ekuthiwa ke i-procedural studies. Lokho ke kusho yonke into ibe kahle ke ngendlela yakhona wenza isibonelo sebhilidi ke lapho uma uzolibona ke ibhilidi ukuthi nali lide kona fanele uzame enye iangela futhi ubone lento ebonayo kuleli bhilidi kuseyona yini oyibuka kwenye angela nje ukuthi ke isithombe usandise ube futhi ke usikhulise ube futhi usibuyisele esimeni sawo ubonga ukuthi ke usabona ke into eyodwa yini na kanti futhi ke nako futhi ke ubuchopho ke babo ukudweba udweba lapho number 2 number 3 kanti futhi ke nezindlela zokwenza konke lokhu.
I did a course with Teltron in 1992 and also worked part-time with Teltron as a salesperson. During this period, I gained knowledge of chemical mixing, printing on the NPS machine, and assisted at the counter. I received a certificate for completing negative classification and photography courses.
Kanti futhi ke ngafunda lapha ngo-1992 eTeltron nakhona futhi ngatohoza khona lapho ngi-sales person wakhona kuleso sikhathi ke ngakwazi ukuthi ke ngithole nolwazi ngokukwazi ukuthi ke ngihlanganise ama-chemical lapho nokuprinta ku-NPS umshini kakhona lokho okuprintwa ngabo ngasiza futhi lapha kwi-counter ngase ngithole isitifiketi futhi ngokuqeda ke i-negative classification kanye futhi ke nokuthobela kwezithombe.
I worked at Martha Gibbs Photography Studios in 1993 and 1994. I specialized in black and white printing. The printing of photos was done in the darkroom. I also worked in studio taking portraits of babies, young children, and assisted with family and group photos.
Kanti futhi ngasengisebenza apha eMartin Gibbs Photographic Studios ngo-1993 kanye ngo-1994 ngase ke futhi ke ngasenza kakhulu ngalombala lo printer ubala omnyama nomhlophe khona ke masiprintayo isithombe singena ke egumbini esuke limnyama ngaqhubeka futhi lapha e-studio ngakwazi ukuthi ke ngithathe izithombe zezingane ezincane nezincane kakhulu ngisiza ke futhi ke malunga emndeni ukuthi azakhe noma ke ahlele izithombe zabo beumndeni.
I also gained experience at various companies such as Pierce Handicraft Shop, Orms Photography, and framing companies.
Ngathola futhi nesipiloni ngokusebenza nezinkampani ezahlukene yodwa inkampani uPierce Handicraft Shop kanti futhi ke no-Orms Photography khona lapha la kuframe khona ke kuleyo nkampani.
In 2000, I was accepted at the South African Council for the architectural profession, for which I became a member. My registration number at the state council is CAD 221.
Kanti futhi ke ngonyaka ka-2000 ngase ngamukela lapha e-South African Council of Architectural Profession ngisebenza lapho ke njengelunga lakhona i-registration number yami lapho banginikeza yona sebengamukela njengelunga leyo council yathi CAD 221.
I also worked at Orbic Architects for 2006-2009, where I learned how to read architectural plans and how to draw basic architectural drawings. I approved architectural plans at councils while counseling with engineers and structural companies.
Can I have layman's terms, maybe architectural plans?
It's like building plans.
Building plans, thank you. Thank you, my lady. It is building
like
plans.
Building plans, yes, my lady.
Building plans that show the complete design of a building.
That's correct,
yeah.
My lady.
Complete design of building. Quite with me. Thank you, Heidi. Kuthi ngibe sengisebenza lapha e-Orbit Architects sola ngonyaka ka-2006 kuze bonyaka ka-2009 la ngafunda khona ke ukudweba amaplan aphelele nezakhiwo zakhona kanti futhi nama-design ke akhona ngakufunda ke lokho kanti futhi ke ngamukela futhi ke ikhansela lapho ngasengenza ke ne-engineering kwezinye izinkampani.
I joined the South African Police Service on the 1st of November 2009 as a forensic analyst. I completed my basic training at the SABC on the 6th October 2010. I then became an operational SABC member.
Ngasengajona umphwesa la eMzansi mhla 1 November 2009 lapho ka forensic analyst njengoba ngichazile la ke sihlaziya khona ke lapho ke la sokwenza khona isigamekweni ngase ke ngenza ke nokuhlola nokuhlolela lapha yangaqeqeshwa khona lapha yako SAPS umhla 6 October 2010 ngase ke ngiba semthethweni lapha ke esiphoyiseni ngayilunga lakhona.
In May 2012, I successfully completed a course in forensic, facial and cranial anatomy in the University of Pretoria, a Faculty of Health Science and Department of Anatomy. The course was
Kanti ke ngoMay 2012 ngasengaqeda futhi ukufunda ke lapho kwami lapho ke ka forensic kakhulukazi ke ngawubuso ke nalapho ekhanda lapho e-University ePretoria.
The facilitated. Thank you, by Professor G.J.R. Mott, Ms. Breers, and Colonel Melissa Pretorius. The subjects is covered during the course included.
Kanti futhi ke lo qeqesho ke kwakuholwa Professor G.J.R. Mott, Mrs. Breers, no Colonel M. Pretorius. That's right. Lokufunda ke kwakunalo kulandelayo.
It included osteology, soft tissue of the face, indices, artistic anatomy, sex assessment.
Once again, lady, let me in terms of the osteology.
It is important as a section to identifying human remains in order to determine the reason of death. It is study of human remains. I've got it here.
Oh, okay.
It's a study of human bones, skeleton, cranial bones, etc.
Cranial will be the head. Cranial.
Yes, cranial
will be the head.
Yeah, this is like skull. Skeleton. It's like a skull.
In short, Miss Nell, to be
like
able to sort of like reconstruct from the remains of a person, from the bones, as to how this person looked like during his lifetime or her lifetime.
It's like a study of bones. You can actually look at bones in order to determine what happened to that person.
Yes.
That is
and to determine the sex of that person, the gender.
The gender, that's sex, that's a sex, yeah, that's regarding the gender of the
so that you can tell from the bones, like the pelvic girdle, whether this is male or female.
Correctly, yeah. That's right.
Ms. Van Wyk, you can just summarize.
Thank you, my lady. Thank you, Sergeant. Osteology. Ithi into yakhona. La usuke phela ke uhlaziya ucwaninga naku phela ke isicubuke zomuntu lapho ke osedlule emhlabeni ke zikhona ke lapho ke laba kufanele uqoqeke ukwazi ukubona masenihlanganisile ukuthi ke lo lesekuhlanganisile bekumzimba womuntu ke wesifazane noma kuyimuntu wesilisa kakhulukazi masibuka amathambo ethu awafani kakhulukazi masifika lapha ngasesinyenye zokwazi ukuthi ke lamathambo lawa njengoba emkanje sihlanganisile awumuntu wesifazane kodwa uma ezoma kanje futhi kuyabonakala ukuthi ke awumuntu wesilisa. Osteology. Thank you, my lady.
On 29 July 2013, I assisted the training students from Stevenson University, School of Humanities of School of Science, Department of Criminal Justice. I provided them with invaluable experience by working on a variety of projects. The students had the chance to observe and interact with numerous units of the center, such as investigating psychology, facial identification and the collection of identification of fingerprints. My work of the students was acknowledged by Dr. Haman Sabas, who was the Associated Professor and the Departmental Chair Criminal Justice Program from Stevenson University, Maryland of United States of America.
Kanti-ke ngo-29 July 2013 ngasiza-ke futhi kuqeqesha-ke abafundi balapha-ke eStevenson University la-ke khona-ke ufazo osuke ebutholakele bakwazi futhi nawo ukuthi-ke basebenze ngendlela futhi ehlukahlukene ngama-projects asuke enziwa kanti futhi-ke umfundi nomfundi ngendlela futhi-ke sibabeka khona bakwazi nokuthi-ke bakuthi uma kuphenywa kwenziwa njani kanti futhi-ke noma kuphenya ngokwengqondo na futhi imidwebo lesuke yenziwe mbala-ke nobuso-ke bomuntu bakwazi ukuthi-ke baqoqe imfanekisana yensalela zeminwe nokusebenza-ke futhi nako-ke konke lokhu kwaqiniswa kwamukelwa ukufunda kwami kwaqiniswa kwamukelwa udokotela uHamine Shabazz olaphaya kwa-Department of Chair Criminal Justice Program laphaya eStevenson University eMaryland, United States of America.
I completed the EFIT E6 course of MASTEC Midrand in September 2016. It's a vision metric facial identification course. It is a software program with components to create facial compilations on a computer program.
Kwasowathi-ke lapha ngo-September 2016 ngase ngaqedela ukufuna e-EFIT 6 i-course yakhona apha eMASTEC Midrand. Kanti futhi-ke ukwenza kwami-ke le course ukuthi-ke ngibe ngokuphelela kwazi ukukhomba-ke noma ngenza-ke ubuso-ke bomuntu wazi ukhomba umuntu. Kanti futhi lokhu ngifake kwi-software program yakhona ye-facial compilation on a computer program. Konke lokhu ngiswaso ngikufaka kuyela-ke i-program ukufaka kwi-program ngikwazi ukubona lento ngithi-ke i-facial ubuso lobusesekudwetshiwe.
I completed a facial comparison symposium which was hosted at the School of Anatomical Science, University of Witwatersrand in March 2016. The symposium was presented by Professor Caroline Wilkerson of Face Lab in Liverpool and John Moores from the University of Liverpool, United Kingdom. Caroline Wilkerson is a British anthropologist and a professor in forensic facial reconstruction and craniofacial identification and forensic art.
Kanti futhi-ke ngakhwe futhi-ke nako kufuna-ke malani-ke nombuso udwetshiwe-ke lapha-ke esikoleni engikhuluma ngaso i-anatomic science laphaya e-University of Witwatersrand ngoMarch ka-2016. Ukufunda kami lokhu-ke lokufunda kwakwenziwa uProfessor uCaroline Wilkinson wase-Liverpool noJohannes Moores olapha e-University of Liverpool e-United Kingdom. uCaroline Wilkinson lapha-ke uyi-British professor lapha ka-forensic facial reconstruction la kwenziwa khona futhi umdebe-ke wakhe umuntu uzobona ngaso-ke umuntu wazi nokukhombeka yini na.
Warrant Officer, just in short, for the understanding of this qualification, would it involve, like, from the description, say, by a complainant, from the description that is given by the complainant, you can then compile what you call an identikit?
That's correct, my lady. Basically, yes, you can do, but the symposium was the comparisons. It is basically what we also do in our office is that we compare suspects with video images. So for instance, and also with identification documents. So say for instance the person was at a crime scene and it was caught on video images, then the suspect's been arrested, we compare the two together to point out that that person was at that scene that during that time. It's the same person.
So you can take video footage?
Normally the video footages will be recorded at the business or at the crime scene when it happened, and then the investigator will go and fetch the video images from the crime scene that's been taken. And then maybe at a later stage, if he was arrested, that person been arrested, then they will take control photos from the person from all sides of his face, and then we will analyze his face compared it with the photos of the images that was found on the crime scene. So we compare the control photos with the video footages to say the person was indeed at the crime scene or not.
Yabona kuze ke sibe nawo ke lo mdwebo ke walobuso. Isikhathi ke loyo osuke ezobika noma ezosichazela ngomuntu bade emhlukumeza. Uyamchazeke ahlambe wayefaka izibuko unehlelo lodwa indlebe yakhe ilumekile mase siyamdweba ke mase sidwebeke leyo nto uma sesidwebile futhi enye into yake sisize uma lo muntu adesuke ekhona esigamekweni sokuthi kusho ukuthi izithombe lapho noma ke uthathe ama videos siqhathaniseke manje ukuthi ke lento sidweba la nalechazwe kodwa sichazela idwebe yahlini inalo ukufana ukuthi yebo lo muntu ubekade ekhona lapho esigamekweni njengoba ke sibona ke ama video into futhi akuyenzeke ke izithombe noma zishothwa ke zayo lo muntu noma labo bantu abasuke besolakala yashuthwa ke ngawo kabona wonke ama-angele la ngasebaceleni samsokudla sokunxele nala ngaphambili uqhuthe futhi kube khona ukuqhathaniswa ke kwalezi zithombe.
In 2018, I also created a document entitled Laws of the Face, which is contemporary post-mortem depiction in art and science for the University of Liverpool. I made a complete manual on cases of which I worked on. The manual was submitted to the University of Liverpool for research purposes.
Kanti futhi ke ngasengenza ke lencwadi esi Laws of the Face simthetho ke yawo ke ubuso la ngiswe ngidwebe khona nje sengichazile kanti futhi ukwenza kwami lokho ke ngasedlulisela khona ke University of Liverpool la ngenza khona ke okuphelele uma sengibona amacala bade ngiwenzile ngenza ke lo manual mase ngiyenzile ke sengidlulisela khona ke University of Liverpool ukuze baqhubeke nabo ke futhi ngophenyo lwabo mafuna uqhubeka nako.
In 2019, I was involved in a research project for University of Dundee together with Paul Matatuba, who holds an MCS Forensic Art and Facial Identification qualification. This research project was structured by Dr. Caroline Irolin, who is part of the Center of Anatomy and Human Identification of the University of Dundee.
Kanti futhi ngonyaka 2019 ngangiphatheka iproject enze lapha ya University of Dundee ngihambisana naye uPaul Mamathuba yena ke wayibambe iziqo za forensic art ne facial identification ngakhohla ukuthi sithe yiloko ubonakala ke noma ke ukukhomba ke obuso lapho ke uDokotela uCaroline Ereline wayengxenye futhi yale Center to Anatomy and Human Identification lapho ke sokhonjwa ke phela ke izidumbo somuntu kwadlo sokhona phe University yase Dundee.
I have been in the service of the South African Police Service for the past 14 years, 13 of which consisted an employment as a forensic field worker.
Kanti futhi ke ukusanza ngami ke mbothela amaphoyisa manje 14 ewu13 yaleminyaka ekhomba ukuthi ke ngikhona ke lapha efieldini la sifike siye khona la kwenze khona izigameko sicoshayo sithwebulayo sikalayo.
Okay, first meeting with Warrant Officer BC Burgess. On the 2nd of March 2023, I had a meeting with Warrant Officer BC Burgess from the National Crime Scene Management Unit. He requested that I assisted him in a reconstruction of the case, which dates back to 1967. This case pertaining to the death of Chief Albert Luthuli, reference number 103574/15/2021. I noticed that the file contained one photograph of the breach. A copy of the photograph is on page 25 of Annex B.
Sesa ke manje la sengibona khona no one officer OBC Burgess. Owena ke owenze ke leli cala lanozwane uChief Albert Luthuli. Uqala ngokubona naye. Ngomhla 2 kuMarch 2023 sehlangana naye one officer OBC Burgess lapha la National Crime Scene Management Unit. Lapho ke wasengicela ke ocela usizo lwami ukuthi ke siphinde sakhe phela le ndawo la kwenza khona ke isigameko esenzeka ngo1967. Kuloku ke la kodwa khona emhlabeni uChief Albert Luthuli. I reference number yalento ecothi ngiyenze yathi 10 ka3574 15 2021. Engaqaphela ukuthi kulo container wakhona isithombe ke esasisodwa salo ke ibridge. Copy the photograph.
Yes, my lady.
Phela lesithombe siku page number 25 or exhibit misifakiso uB.
Where's Mr. Trusi? To show the bridge. Or don't you want it?
Yeah, I think it's good. Put it up.
I mean, there are members of the public who do not have Annexure P.
As the court pleases.
Mr. Trusi, can you assist to show the bridge as depicted in page 25 of Annexure P? So that we all follow. Otherwise people will fall asleep. Yes, I think the witness doesn't have to explain anything, just to show for the sake of the members of the public.
Yes.
As she reads her statement into the record,
Yes.
if it involves a picture, then let us assist by engaging with the people who have an interest and who have come to listen to
Thank
Ms.
you.
Nell's evidence.
Thank you, my lady.
And this photograph is part of your presentation that you're still going to make
That's
in a
right.
PowerPoint form.
Yes, that's right. But
Of
that's
the
part
photos
the whole-
themselves.
Yeah, that's 100%, my lady. Okay. One of the BC Burgess showed me his scientifically and mathematically calculations of the train which he worked out based on the statements of inquest witness of Mr. Ladegam and Detective Lewis, as well as the consultations that he had with Mr. Labuskaghni from one of the steam trains. One of the Burgess also provided me with information relating to the time of the incident, as well as the scientific specifications of the Umbuti Railway Bridge. Other inquest documents received from one of the SABC Burgess were the medical reports, the statements of Dr. Marius J. Dubert, statement of Dr. Jacobus Johannes van Zyl, and the statement of Dr. Mary Gregerson.
One officer uBurgess wasongikhombisa ke lokhu ke ayise kubalile kwasoke isitimela lesi sebenzisa product manager lezi ke za inquest noma ke ukuthi ke ukudlula emhlabeni kwaNozana Luthi kwadalwa yini. Kanti futhi ke lo fazi Mr. Latachan me detective lo kanye nofakazi Mr. Latachan no detective Lewis kanti futhi ke nokhuluma ke naye ke umnumzana uLabaskagni osebenza pha eWonder Steam Trains. Port Officer OBC Burgess wasenikeza futhi imininingwane mala ke nesigameko leso twasenzala pha kumvoti railway bridge. Na kunye futhi ke amaphepha ayikhona ke lapha awathola uWard Officer OBC Burgess mala ke nembiko yodokotela Statement Dr. Mauritius J. Hubert, Statement Dr. Jacobus Johannes van Zyl, Statement Dr. Gwendolyn Mary Gregerson.
In order to assist with the reconstruction of the crime scene and depiction of the scenarios, I needed to obtain further information from the locomotive expert, Mr. Labaskagni. On the 6th March 2023, I met up with Mr. Labaskagni at Wonder Steam Trains in Hermanstad. I asked him if his knowledge pertaining to the Class 15CA locomotive. He showed me a locomotive Class 15CA which had been restored by him. He provided an explanation about the specification of the train. And I then took photos of the locomotive Class 15CA from all sides, including the driver's cab.
Kanti futhi ukuze phela ngikwazi ukuthi ngithole usizo ukuthi ke ngiphinde ke ngisakhe ke noma ngakhe ngidwebe indaba ke yaso ke isigameko ngase ke ngithola ke imininingwane kunake ungcwabchopho ke nozana uLabaskagni wazoke izitimela noma kaso nestimela ngomhla 6 kuMarch 2023 ngahlangana ke nanozana uLabaskagni lapha eWonder Steam Trains eHermanstad. Ngase ke ngithola imininingwane ke malana ke ne-Class 15CA kanti futhi ke wasewa ngikhombisa ke futhi ke istimela esu-Class 15CA ekade sigcine ke uyena wasenikeza futhi ke nencazelo nalokufunakalayo kwasoke isitimela ngathatha ke izithombe ngashutha izithombe kona wonke ama-engela aso isitimela u-Class 15CA kanye futhi ke nekalishi ke futhi ke noma indawo la kuhlala khona ke umshayeli umqhubi wesitimela.
And what is depicted there from page 8 of your annexes is that what you are referring to?
Yes, my lady.
Kanti lo ngikhuluma ngako la ku-course number 8 kwincwadi yami efungelwe yona kulo sibuka laphayana ke kumamona kudomncane wale nkantolo.
It was important to me to obtain as much information as possible, including specifications pertaining to the locomotive for the reconstruction of the scenes and the creation of the scenario illustrations.
Ngothophele kakhulu ukuthi ngithole imininingwane ke owanele ukuze ngikwazi ke phela ukuthi ke ngibona naso sitima lesi nokuphinde siphinde phela sihlanganise ukuthi ngempela phela sikhomekeni kwenzakalani nangendlela futhi ke okwenzakala ngako.
The following are photographs which were personally captured by me as per page from 8 to 12 and Annex to B. This page here is the first page, it's page 8. 3 photographs on page 8. The first one is the front of the locomotive.
Masibuka lapha ke ngihamba ke lapha ngiyoshuka ke izithombe zazoke lesitimela masibona lapha kuloqala nje ukusivezela khona manje ingaphambili lesitimela.
The second one be the left side of the locomotive from the fireman's side.
Masikuthi ke isithombe ke sandla lapho B isayidi ke laso ke isitimela nala kuhlela khona ke lo osuke efaka ke amalahle emlilweni nesitimela.
Then see the right side from the locomotive, the driver's side.
Masikuthi lapha ke point number C kansami ke sokudla isitimela la kuhlela khona ke umshayeli umqhubi wesitimela.
3 photographs on page 9. It's been taken also, so on page 9 you will see another 3 photographs.
Uzophinde futhi ke ngiqhubeka ngithi lapha ya ku page noma isikhathi ukhasi number 9 kunethombe ezintathu futhi lapho ke ezashutha beyathetshulwa.
The first one, the right of where the train driver normally sits. This was taken from the front buffer beam, the red metal plate. It is part of the train which protrude from the body of the train.
Kanti ke masibona lapha kuyabonakala ke sansam sokudla la udriver evama ukuthi ke ahlale khona mase futhi ke siphinde sithathe futhi kwi buffer beam longa okuphumelayo okulungile lapha estimeleni la kubovu khona ke la kuphumayo ke lapha ke emzimbeni waso ke istimela.
The second is an angle slide towards the right side of the locomotive on the driver's side. This photo was taken to indicate other parts which could protrude from the body of the train as it is in motion. This was done to ascertain which part of the train could have struck Chief Albert Luthuli while the train was in motion.
Kanti masiba futhi kwenye angle mase siyangaphathana ke sokudla kwaloke istimela nesadini la udriver ke hlala ngakhona lesithoma ke sisithatha nje leyo ndawo ke futhi nayo ke futhi ke ithe kuphuma ke kona ke istimela futhi ke lokhu sikwenza ngoba sifuna ukuthola ukuthi ke istimela ngabe samshaya ubundawo uChief Albert Luthuli lesikhathi istimela ke sihamba.
The third photo was photo of the buffer beam in line with the front red metal plate.
Kanti soma ke futhi lapha ke number C le esikhuluma ngayo ngathi ke isemgqeni nayo le ndawo ke le ebovu lapha ngaphambili estimeleni.
On page 10, another 3 photos were taken.
Masisiya cross ke number 10 kune ithombe futhi ezintathu ezashuthwa lapho.
The first one was a close range shot of all the parts behind the buffer beam. It is more in line with the edge of the steel plate.
Kanti sabapha ke some ke esishuthe lapho ke sisondele amanye ke ama parts ayo ke estimela lapho ke buffer beam yakhona futhi ke kuhambisana noma ke kusale nowodwa nalo kundawo ke einsimbi lapho ke estimeleni.
The second one, a slight angle to the right side for a closer view of all the parts of the engine.
Masikuthi ke futhi ke ku angle nje kancane santsami ke sokudla siyabona lapho ya ama parts onke engine
and a further angle right to the right.
Nalapho futhi sami ke sokudla ngishuthe futhi lapho kodwa kwenye angle.
Photograph on page 11. The first one, front part of the locomotive of the logo of the train number. The locomotive engine number is a different number. It is based on the number of the locomotive engine and not the model number.
Kanti futhi ke ingaphambili ayo ke istimela sibona ke umbhalo khona ke nenombolo yestimela. Istimela sike engine engine number is different number. Kanti futhi ke inombolo engine inamba ke lo ehlukile. Leyo number ke isinikeza inombolo yalo ke engine hayi ukwakhiwa noma isakhiwo sayo ke engine.
Is that the top?
That's the top, the number there. So that's not the model, it's just the engine. That's the train itself, the locomotive itself, but it's not the model, a different model.
Yes.
Then we've got a shot from the back to the front of the right hand side of the locomotive engine.
Mase futhi sithwebona masho sisithombe lapha ke ngemuva ke lapha ke ngaphambili sami ke sokudla saso ke nayo ke engine yestimela.
A shot from the front to the back again, from the other side of the engine.
Phinde futhi ke so ngaphambili sangemuva kuyona futhi sami ke sokudla yayo futhi engine yestimela.
The enlarged photo indicates the edges of the parts that would protrude from the body of the locomotive.
Kanti futhi ke isithombe ke sikhulu sikhombusa ke njengoba ama parts ayo ke istimela leko okusuke kuputshekele ngaphandle komzimba westimela.
5 photographs on page 12 was taken. The first one of the page 12, it shows the fireman's side and the type of window next to the fireman's chair.
Lapho ke sibona ke manje ke esathi la kuhlela khona ke lo osuke efaka ke amalahle ke lapho ke baseke omlilo kanti futhi nohlobo lefastele duzane nesitulo sakhe lo osuke ke efaka amalahle khona lapho ke estimeleni.
The driver's side as well as a window in front of the driver's side photos 1 and 2. These photographs indicate the limit view which a driver would have had when trying to look out of the window. Obstacles would have caused him to have a limit view. The railway track was more visible from the side window on the driver's side.
Kanti futhi ke ngase ngisadinge lakhe ku drive first lane lakhe selibona le first sithombe number 1 no number 2 lezi sithombe ke lezi ziveza ukubona kwakhe futhi nakhona ongikubona ke okuhle kakhulu lapho ye ngoba ke lesathi ke liya drive ke mayibuka ngalo ke ifastele kanti futhi nezinto futhi ezibanga ukuthi ke nokubona futhi ngabe ubona kuphelele okuhle ke lapho railway track was more kanti futhi ke wona ke ojantshi ubona lahla kakhulu esidinge lika driver la ehlala khona efasteleni
And see the coal section behind the driver and the fireman's chair.
mase kuthi lapha ya ku C sibona ke amalahle ngemva ko driver kanti nesihlalo la kuhlala khona umlisa lo usuke phela fakela amalahle emlilweni.
And number D, the fireman's side looking towards the driver's side.
Mase uthi lapha ke uD ingxenye yakhe ke umlisa lo usuke efaka amalahle esidini lakhe ebheke lasidini likamshayeli umqhubi wesitimela.
And E, the panels which was used to indicate the speed of locomotive and the other equipment which will be used to propel the locomotive.
Kanti futhi ke nalama thuza senizwayo ukuveza ke isivinini sokuhamba kwesitimela nokunye futhi okusetshenziswayo lapha uthe kubhekelele ukuhamba so ke isitimela khona lapho.
On 25 April 2024, I had a meeting with the at KZN with the TRC unit, consists of advocates from the office and the director of public prosecutor in Pietermaritzburg, as well as the investigator of this matter. Based on material gathered in respect of this matter, I am of opinion of Chief Albert Luthuli, deceased, was assaulted, as opposed to him having been struck by the train. This shall be explained and illustrated in a paragraph as follows.
Kanti ngomhla 25 April 2024 ngaba nokuhlangana ne-KZN TRC unit kuleyo thimba ke kwakhona ke nama advocates baphuma lapha bevisa baqondisa besheshisi khona la eMgungundlovu kanye futhi ke nomphenyi ololu daba ngaloko ke sasitholile ke seko konke mina ke olwami ovoluthi uChief Albert Luthuli osengumufi sokuthi washawa okunosuke kuthiwa ke washawa ke isitimela kodwa lokho ngizochaza ngokuhamba kwesikhathi kulama paragraph alandelayo.
Mr. Ngobo,
And what you
sorry.
say,
Once you finish that explanation, we can then adjourn.
or as the court pleases.
Before we start on the next paragraph.
As the court pleases. So what you state there in paragraph 19 foreshadows what you have concluded with your illustrations that you will show in detail later on. Is that?
That's correct, my lady.
Kan lokho sekushilo ke lade kufuna khona manje paragraph u19 kumboza lokho bese verse ichazile engisazonaba ngako ukuhamba kwesikhathi.
Okay. My lady, it may be opportune to take a break at this time, and then she will
An adjournment?
continue. Yes, an adjournment, sir.
Ms. Nell,
Yes. Sorry.
we will adjourn the proceedings. It's been a long wait for you since last week. I'm sorry that
No, that's
I have to cut you short. I just need that when we enter this other arena of your illustration, we are all fresh.
Yes, I think so too. That
You
will be
think so
good.
too? So you agree with me?
I agree,
That we
my
should
lady.
adjourn. At this moment, we will adjourn the proceedings to the 13th of May 2025. And you are excused from the witness box and you are warned for tomorrow, the 13th of May 2025.
Thank you, my lady.
Thank you.
As the court
Adjourn.
pleases.